Hello, YouTube. Welcome to Super Lorcana World. It is your one-stop shop for everything Lorcana. And last week we got some cards announced. Most of them were at the last minute of Friday, and some of them are cool, and some of them are just kind of whatever, kind of meh. Not everything can be good, and that's the world we live in. So that's okay. But today's cards, some of them are really intriguing. I just want to show you guys all about it and explain all the potential applications with it. If you guys like this, please like, comment, subscribe. We're getting close to 2,000 subs. We should get that. Easy dubs. Easy. We'll start with Bounce. Bounce is a 2-drop action that cannot be sung. It cannot be inked. Just says return chosen character of yours to your hand to return another chosen character to the player's hand. Okay, so this card has a lot of applications, right? It can bring back your own damaged things. It can to bounce back something your opponent might use to really give you problems, Like, it's the same theory behind Mother Knows Best. Use that card to bounce a problematic card on your opponent's side of the field to hand. Bounce does that too. It just bounces some of your other stuff to your hand. Now, for 2 costs, it's not too bad. You bounce back something that has an on play that triggers. You bounce back something with a lot of damage on it. You're getting a lot of value. What's really cool is that one of our first reveals for the set is, where is it? Merlin. Whenever one of your other characters is returned to your hand from play, this character gets +1 for the turn, 1 lore. So you can already smell the synergy from a mile away with this card, if you choose to go with this color combination. It's an action, anyway, so just so you know, that's something that works. A deck with 4 bounce, 4 Mother Knows Best. Things could get really interesting. And if we get more cards that do self-bounce, that could be really cool for Merlin, to say the least. But anyway, other stuff we know for sure. It's an action in Emerald, easily recurable by Lady Tremaine. Lady Tremaine costs 6. You can bring back bounce, activate bounce, bounce Lady Tremaine to hand, bounce an opponent's character to hand, and you could theoretically just keep doing that over and over and over again. And that's a really powerful combo, in my opinion. So I think Bounce is cool. Bounce will see play. I do not have any hesitation on that whatsoever. And that's just the first card. Now we got the Prince. The Prince is a 3-drop that can be inkable steel card, a 1/3 that quests for 2, has Bodyguard, and has resist 1. There's another resist card we're going to talk about really, really soon. But resist is pretty cool because the whole, think of things like steel. Cards that say deal X damage to something. Well, all of a sudden, X damage is reduced by 1. And that could be really annoying for the resist ability. For this card, it's not that good. Sure, 1/3 for 2 Bodyguard isn't bad by any means. Is he going to see a whole lot of play? Probably not. Cinderella's a lot better. But, without the Bodyguard, obviously. This card's just like it's whatever. It's an uncommon. Will it see play? Possibly. I just don't think it's that good, in my opinion. Maybe in some kind of steel aggro deck. Maybe we're getting the ground to build something like that. That could be okay. But besides that, no, I don't think so. We will need more cards to see just how valuable this card ends up becoming. Next, this card. This card excites me. It gets me all wound up. It's a clock. Alright, Cogsworth, the Grandfather Clock. It is a 5-cost inkable 2/5 that quests for 2. It has Shift 3. You'll see that shortly why that matters. It has Ward, so it cannot be targeted by things, only challenge. And it has Unwind. Your other characters gain resist. Now, I don't think I need to spell out the potential applications with something like, double Aurora and Cogsworth. Being like you have double Aurora lock, right? So everything gets Ward. This has Ward, that's a cute bonus, whatever. But let's say you did that, alright? And then you somehow got multiple Cogsworth on the board. Well, all of a sudden, your stuff is just taking less and less damage. And this is just other characters gain 1 resist. If they already have resist, they gain I guess, more resist. We should check for ruling clarifications on that. because they gain resist 1. I'm assuming it's additive. Like if you gave this to this, it all of a sudden has resist 2. We should probably clarify that. But yeah, if that works that way, it could be really powerful. And if it does work that way, you'll see this card a lot. If it doesn't work that way, it's still kind of cool. Potential 3-drop is really cool because Cogsworth is shiftable, and giving things resist seems to be the new thing, and it's going to make steel decks a lot worse, and it's going to make decks that need to challenge characters because they have ward a lot worse. It's going to make things harder for them. So with that out of the way, let's move on to Little Cogsworth. It is a 2-drop inkable 2/3 for 1. Its ability, wait a minute, says your characters with Reckless gain exert to gain a lore. This card kind of cheapens the Reckless ability. Like, take something like the 2-drop Gaston in the Ruby Ink that we have in the first set. You know what I mean? It's a card that's so powerful that it has to have Reckless. And trade-offs include, if your opponent traps it, it deserves to die. You'll probably take something with it, but it deserves to die. Or if your opponent just chooses not to quest or anything, then it's just sitting there and doing nothing. Cogsworth gives you a Reckless payoff. And I'm unsure at this time how I feel about that. It depends on what kind of Reckless cards we get. But it's a very interesting counter to John Silver, I'll tell you that. John Silver gives something Reckless, and then you drop this guy from the hand, and you're like, never mind, let me just top my guy for a lore, no big. That being said, we need to think bigger picture. Is it worth questing some big Reckless dude like Maui for 1 lore? The answer is dependable on the deck you're fighting at the time. It's not as black and white as you might think it is. Is it a cool addition to Reckless? Yeah, it is. Will you play this? That depends. Are Ruby Sapphire decks going to be a thing? Because that's where the bulk of the Reckless cards are right now. Time will tell. It depends on what other cards we get in the second chapter, or the Rise of the Floorborn, as they're calling it. I think this card has the potential to see a very limited amount of meta play, because its limitation depends on A, if you play big Cogsworth, and B, if you play things with Reckless. Because if you're just using this as a shift target, then it's not really good. It's just a 2/2/3 for 1. And that's kind of vanilla, kind of bad. But if it gives you that payoff, maybe it becomes a little more worth it. So the future will have to tell us whether this card is good or not. I'll stick with a solid, maybe in the very niche most applications will it be played. And I'm going to stick it with that. Card seems reasonable, I guess. This Flynn Rider is a 1-drop, 1/3 for 1. It's another, like a Olaf or whatever. This is a Hero Prince. And maybe this stuff will start coming in handy soon. These attributes in the middle of the card here. Maybe we'll start getting some hero payoffs or some Prince payoffs on the set. Maybe it makes this just better than 1/3 for 1. But besides this, almost a dime a dozen on these. And the last card that was revealed last week was earlier in the week. It's I'm Stuck. Chosen exotic character. Can't ready at the start of their next turn. It's really bad against decks that just unexert their cards through other means. I will say it's an inkable action that maybe, if played properly later in the game, it can spell doom for your opponent. That is as nice as I'm going to be, though, to I'm Stuck. I do think this card has the potential to see a very tiny amount of meta play. A very tiny amount. This card is not going to break the meta. Not even close. Not even close. None of these cards revealed here give me big meta vibes. The bounce card kind of does in the right deck, and the Cogsworth card kind of does in the right deck. Everything else is kind of niche to unplayable, depending on what other cards we happen. I think I'm Stuck is almost in the unplayable section, but maybe you'll play it for that one moment later in the game where you need to keep something alive to win, and it might die if the opponent gets to, ready their cards to start a turn. I'm Stuck might win a game there. But that is as much credit as I'm going to give this card. I don't think it's very good. It's just okay. And that'll do it for today's review of the cards revealed last week. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I will see you later. Bye.